So hello and welcome everybody to my channel Omni Bioentrance, and today we will be discussing University of Hyderabad MSc Entrance Examination question paper conducted for the subject Animal Biotechnology in the year 2012. So pancreatic lipase acts upon triglycerides. Answer is option B. The following phenomenon is an example of Mendelian inheritance. So Huntington's chorea is an example of Mendelian inheritance. Answer is option D. Plant producing spores bearing seeds without fruit and well developed vascular structure are. So they are gymnosperms. Answer is option B. So plant producing spore bearing seed without fruit, they are gymnosperms. How many haploid cells are formed after 2 rounds of mitosis and 1 round of meiosis respectively? So after 2 rounds of mitosis, how many haploid cells will be formed? 0. Because meiosis always give rise to diploid cells. So option C is correct, 0. And after 1 round of meiosis, how many will be formed? 4 haploid cells will be formed. So answer is option C. The next question. Base hydrolysis of triglyceride is known as? It is known as saponification. Answer is option D. The nitrifying bacteria are example of? They are example of chemoautotrophs. Answer is option C. If crossover in one region of the chromosome affects the likelihood of another crossover event in an adjacent region of the chromosome, the phenomenon is known as? It is known as interference. Answer is option C. Then which of the following functional group series is ranked according to increasing boiling point? So it is ethane, diethyl ether, ethane thiol, and then comes ethanol. So according to increasing boiling point, option C is correct. Then which one of the following statement is false with reference to contraction and relaxation of skeletal muscle? So increased Ca2 plus conductance at the end plate membrane. So that is false with reference to contraction and relaxation of skeletal muscle. Release of acetylcholine at motor end plate, that is correct. Generation of action potential in muscle fibers, that is also correct. Release of Ca2 plus from sarcoplasmic reticulum, that is also correct. A living mechanical tissue is? It is, answer is option B, that is colon-chyma. Then a bacterial toxin that causes cramps, diarrhea and nausea in gastric tract is called as? It is called as exotoxin. Answer is option A. Then next one. What would be the pH of 0.02 molar succinic acid solution taking into account both ionization, that is Ka1 and Ka2? So we know that succinic acid is a diprotic acid and it undergoes 2 successive deprotonation reaction. So this is the first reaction and it is Ka1, and this is the second reaction, it is Ka2. We know Ka1 is equal to concentration of products, that is these two, divided by concentration of the reactant. Since the concentration of CH2 twice, CO2 twice, CO2 minus is equal to that of concentration of H plus, will be equal to concentration of H plus, as this is a weak acid. So from there we can calculate Ka1. So Ka1 will be 1.18 into 10 raised to minus 3 and Ka2 will be 2.45 into 10 raised to minus 4. Now you have to add both of these. That is 1.18 into 10 raised to minus 3 plus 2.45 into 10 raised to minus 4. You will get it as 1.42 into 10 raised to minus 3. So the negative logarithm of this H plus ion concentration will give you approximately 2.9. So answer is option A, that is 2.9. Then next one. For which of the following mixtures would steam distillation be the most appropriate method of separation? So it is for aniline and sodium chloride. So the answer is option C. Then allopurinol is used to treat gout. It acts by inhibiting. It's a class of, then allopurinol is a class of medication called xanthine oxidase inhibitors. So it will naturally inhibit xanthine oxidase, that is option A. The prevention of growth or development of an organism by a substance released by another organism is called as, so it is called as antibiosis. Answer is option B. The formation of acetyl coenzyme A from pyruvic acid is the result of oxidative decarboxylation. Answer is option D. Then next one. The specific absorption coefficient of glycogen iodine complex at 450 nanometer is 0.2. Calculate the concentration of glycogen in a solution of the iodine complex which has an absorption of 0.38 in a 3 centimeter cuvette. So we know the formula A is equal to epsilon Cl. So that is equal to, they have given the absorption of 0.38 and epsilon value, that is the specific absorption coefficient of glycogen iodine complex at 450 nanometers is 0.2. So they have given the value as 0.2 into C, that is concentration, we have to find out, into 3, that is length of the cuvette, that is 3 centimeters. So concentration is equal to 0.633, that will be equal to 63.3%. So answer is option D. Then, which of the following statement is correct regarding nucleophiles? They have an overall positive charge. They have a lone pair of electrons. They have an unpaired electron and they have empty orbital. Answer is option B. They have a lone pair of electrons. The placenta of human is a discoidal placenta with interstitial implantation. Answer is option C. The enzyme that catalyzes the conversion of 2-phosphoglycerate to phosphoenol pyruvate is, so it is enolase. Answer is option A. Now next one. Which one of the following has maximum number of unpaired electrons? So Mg2 plus, this is the electronic configuration of Mg2 plus, so it has no unpaired electrons. Then comes Ti3 plus, this is the electronic configuration of Ti3 plus, it has 1 unpaired electrons. They have asked for maximum number of unpaired electrons. Then B3 plus, it is 2, and for Fe2 plus it is 4. So the one which is having maximum number of unpaired electron is option D, that is Fe2 plus. Then next one, calculate the axial length of an alpha helix containing 78 amino acids. So 3.6 amino acids is present per turn in case of an alpha helix, and the pitch of the helix is 5.4 Armstrong. So for 78 amino acid, the number of turns will be 78 divided by 3.6, that is 21.6. Then axial length is equal to number of turns in 78 amino acid into the pitch. So that is 21.6 into 5.4, that is 117 Armstrong. So answer is option A. Then next one. The percentage of human genome that codes for protein is, it is 1 to 1.5%. The rest is non-coding RNA genes, regulatory DNA sequences, lines, signs, introns, and sequence for which as yet no function has been determined. The next one. The method of vegetative culture is called as. Pomology is a branch of botany that studies with fruits and its cultivation. Then silviculture is the art and science of manipulating forest vegetation to enhance forest growth and establish new forest strands and wildlife habitat. Then arboriculture is the cultivation, management and study of individual trees, shrubs, vines and other perennial woody plants. Then olericulture is the science of vegetable growing, dealing with the culture of non-woody herbaceous plants for food. So the answer is the method of vegetative culture is called as olericulture. Answer is option B. Then oxygen carrying capacity of chlorochlorine in the respiratory pigment of annelid is associated with metallic ion, that is iron. Answer is option A. Then next one. 1 mole of potassium chlorate is thermally decomposed and excess of aluminum is burnt in the gaseous product. How many moles of aluminum oxide are formed? So the thermal decomposition of potassium chloride, that is KClO3, is given as 2 KClO3 giving 2 KCl plus 3 O2. And oxygen reacts with excess aluminum. So 3 O2 plus 4 Al give 2 Al2O3. So 1 mole of KClO3 will give you 3 by 2 mole of oxygen. And 3 by 2 mole of oxygen will give 1 mole of Al2O3. So the answer is how many moles of aluminum oxide are formed? So aluminum oxide will be 1 mole. Answer is option A, that is 1 mole. So coming to the next question, the filamentous DNA and protein that can be stained in interphase nuclei is called. It is called as chromatin. During interphase, chromatin is in its least condensed state and appears loosely distributed throughout the nucleus. Chromatin condensation begins during the prophase and chromosome become visible. Then hexokinase phosphorylates glucose, the phosphorylation process. So phosphorylation of hexose such as glucose often limited to a number of intracellular metabolic processes such as glycolysis or glycogen synthesis. This is because after phosphorylation, hexoses are charged and thus are more difficult to be transported out of the cell. So charging prevents them from escape out of the cell. So the answer is option A, prevents escape of glucose from the cell. Then next one. Which of the following types of bonds or interaction contribute the least towards stabilizing the three-dimensional folding of protein molecule? So the ester bonds, they contribute least towards three-dimensional folding of protein molecule. The characteristic reaction of carboxylic acid is, it is nucleophilic substitution. Answer is option D. Then cellular proteins tagged with ubiquitin undergo degradation in one of the following organelles. So it is in the proteasomes that they undergo degradation. Answer is option B. Which of the following is a major unsaturated fatty acid present in corn, peanut and soybean oil? It is linoleic acid. Answer is option C. The hormone for regulation of calcium and phosphate homeostasis is secreted by, it is by the parathyroid gland. So answer is option B. Then a plant enzyme produced in response to infection by fungal pathogen which hydrolyzes some components of the fungal cell wall is, it is called, answer is option A, chitinase. Then next one. The strain of yeast that is used in beer production is, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Answer is option B. Which of the histone is not part of the nucleosome? It is H1, whereas others are part of the nucleosome. Then which of the following organism is not recommended for production of recombinant therapeutics? So Pseudomonas aeruginosa is not recommended for production of recombinant therapeutics. One of the following arthropods does not serve as a vector for transmission of rickettsial disease. So it is option D, Culseta. Answer is Culiceta. Answer is option D. Then next one. The factor that does not influence the heat of a reaction. So the method by which final products are obtained. So that does not influence heat of a reaction. Then genetically induced dwarfness in plants can be overcome by treatment with. It can be overcome by treatment with gibberellins. Answer is option D. Isozymes are enzymes catalyzing same reaction with different physical properties. Answer is option A. Then rhizopus multiplies by the production of sporangiosperms. Answer is option C. The triple helix model of the DNA structure was proposed by Linus Pauling. Answer is option C. The next one. Embryonic stem cells are pluripotent and have self-renewal capacity. So answer is option B. Nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney. Juxtamedullary nephrons are present in. So they are present in mammals and birds. So both A and C are right. I don't know what was given in your option in the answer key because I don't have the answer key with me. Then a sample of DNA purified from Mycobacterium tuberculosis contained 15.1% adenine on a molar basis. So thymine also will be 15.1 and A plus T will be 30.2. So they have asked for the percentage of guanine present. So 100 minus 30.2 will give 69.8 divided by 2 will be 34.9. So the answer is option A, that is 34.9%. Then Lyme disease is caused by Borrelia burgdorferi. Answer is option B. Internucleosomal DNA is called the linker DNA. Answer is option A. So internucleosomal is the part of the DNA not wrapped around the histones. So the answer is option A, linker DNA. Crown gall disease in plants is caused by the infection of agrobacterium. So answer is option B. Then next one. A genetic mutation that changes a codon for one amino acid into a codon specifying another amino acid. So that is an example, it's a case of missense mutation. Answer is option B. Then next one. Coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate is derived from vitamin. It is derived from vitamin B6. Answer is option C. Then next one. Homolytic fission of CC bonds lead to the formation of free radicals. Answer is option A. Structure that have the same evolutionary origin but differing with regard to structure and function are said to be homologous. Answer is option B, because they have the same evolutionary origin, that is they arose from a common ancestor. So they are homologous organs. Answer is option B. Enzyme found in saliva of animal is ptyalin. Answer is option B, ptyalin. The movement of masses of cells towards each other and their fusion into one cell mass is called as concrescence. Answer is option B. Which one of the following is an inducer of lac operon? So it is allolactose that is acting as an inducer. So answer is option C. An enzyme that selectively degrades single-stranded DNA is P1 nuclease. Answer is option D. So S1 nuclease, it is an endonuclease that degrades single-stranded DNA and RNA. The enzyme is also used to remove protruding single-stranded termini ends from double-stranded DNA for selective cleavage of single-stranded DNA and for mapping RNA transcripts. Then nuclease P1 is a zinc-dependent single-strand specific nuclease which hydrolyzes phosphodiester bonds in RNA and single-stranded DNA with no base specificity. Then endonucleases are enzymes that cleaves the phosphodiester bond within a polynucleotide chain. And exonucleases are enzymes that work by cleaving nucleotides one at a time from the ends of the polynucleotide chain. So the answer here is that selectively degrade single-stranded DNA is P1 nuclease. Then total number of vertebrae around found in vertebral column of human is, so it is 33. Answer is option B. The common name for Indian rosewood is, it is Dalbergia. Answer is option C. How many different disaccharides are possible from D-galactopyranose and D-glucopyranose? So answer is option B, that is 20. Which one of the following is not a hemoprotein? So bilirubin oxidase is an example. So is not a hemoprotein. Answer is option D. In human, the rectus femoris muscle is found in the thighs. So answer is option C. Humans can digest starch and not cellulose. Both of them contain the monomeric glucose units. Starch can be digested due to the specificities of the intestinal enzyme for alpha-1,4 linkages. So answer is option A. Transfer of electrons during photosynthesis occurs in a sequential manner. The correct order of this sequence is, that is option C, that is P680, pheophytin, plastoquinone, cytochrome B6, plastocyanin, P700 and then ferredoxin. So answer is option C. Example of genomic imprinting is, it is Prader-Willi syndrome. So what is genomic imprinting? It is a process wherein a gene is differentially expressed depending on whether it has been inherited from the mother or from the father. So imprinting does not obey the traditional Mendelian rule of inheritance. So example of genomic imprinting is Prader-Willi syndrome. Then next one. Which of the following is a ketose? So answer is fructose. Option B. Which of the following eukaryotic DNA polymerase plays role in mitochondrial DNA synthesis? So it is polymerase gamma. So answer is option C. Polymerase gamma is located in mitochondria and is responsible for replication of mitochondrial DNA. The next one. The decline of reptiles and expansion of mammals is characteristic of, it is characteristic of the Cenozoic era. So answer is option D. Which one of the following characteristic features is typical for enantiomers? So the characteristic feature that is typical of enantiomers is they have the same physical properties. So having the same melting point. Answer is option B. The germ theory of disease was developed by, it was developed by Pasteur. Answer is option D. Which of the following is not a rodent? Answer is option D, that is mongoose. It's not a rodent. In cold countries, ethylene glycol is added to water in car radiators. This helps to lower the freezing point. Answer is option C. An extra embryonic membrane essential for gas exchange during embryonic development of amniotes is, it is chorion. Answer is option C. Which of the following sterilization method does not kill endospores? So pasteurization does not kill endospores. So answer is option C. In glycolysis and citric acid cycle, the only dehydrogenase to use FAD as cofactor is. So the only step in citric acid cycle in which FAD is required as or the oxidant instead of NADH is the step where succinate is dehydrogenated to fumarate by the action of the enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. So answer is option B. Then myelin producing cells in the central nervous system are. So They are oligodendrocytes. Answer is option A. So coming to the next question. Following properties will decrease with increase in temperature except vapor pressure. So answer is option D. Which region is most biologically diverse area on the planet? So it is the tropical rainforest, option B. Then relaxed plasmids is A. Then relaxed plasmids are regarded as best cloning vectors because they have high copy number, that is present in more than 50 copies per cell. So answer is option D, high copy number plasmid. During embryonic development, the anti-Mullerian factor or anti-Mullerian hormone performs the following function. So it prevents the formation of oviducts and uterus. So answer is option C. The appearance of silver mirror in Tollens test indicate the presence of an aldehyde. Answer is option A. Compared to herbivores, carnivorous intestine is generally longer. Answer is option A. Which one of the following ecosystem is called as taiga? So it is answer is option A, boreal forest. Laron syndrome is due to an autosomal recessive disorder occurring in consanguineous families, and affected individuals are resistant to. So they are resistant to growth hormones. Answer is option A. Then a gas of pressure 5 atmos is heated from 0 degrees to 546 degrees Celsius and simultaneously compressed to 1/3 of its original volume. Hence the final pressure is. So we have the equation, that is P1 by T, P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. So P1 is 5, then T1 is equal to, we have to convert everything into Kelvin scale. So 273 plus 0, that is 273 Kelvin, and T2, that is 546 degrees Celsius, has to be converted to Kelvin scale, and you will get 819 Kelvin. And V2, they have told it is compressed to 1/3 of its original volume. So V1 by 3. So substituting into this formula, you will get P2 is equal to 45 atmospheres. So the answer is option C. Then antibiotic puromycin synthesis inhibits protein synthesis by. So part of the puromycin molecule resemble the 3' end of the amino acylated tRNA such that it enters the A site and transfers to the growing chain, leading to an immature puromycylated chain and its premature release. So preventing acyl tRNA to the A site of the ribosome. Option A is correct. Then next one. How many different aldohexose stereomers are possible excluding anomers? So answer is option B, that is 16. A unicellular heterotroph has nucleus, 70S ribosome, but does not have Golgi apparatus. Which one of the following taxonomic classification best suits the description? So answer is option B, that is Eubacteria. A lake rich in nutrients and algal species is called. So oligotrophic is one which has relatively low productivity due to low nutrient content in the lake. So here answer is eutrophic. So answer is option C. Then dystrophic is the lake that contains high amounts of humic substances and organic acids. So answer is eutrophic. Then in the absence of glycocholic acid and taurocholic acid, the intestinal absorption of the following would be impeded except vitamin C. Answer is option A. Shingles is a disease caused by chickenpox virus. Answer is option B. It is possible to distinguish between optical isomers by polarimetry. Answer is option D. Which is part of the blood buffer? So HCO3 minus and H2CO3 are part of the blood buffer. So thank you for watching my channel. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.